In this case, my office will seek a speedy trial so that our evidence can be tested in court and judged by a jury of citizens. In the meantime, I must emphasize that the indictment is only an allegation and that the defendant must be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law.
May not sound that way on other television networks, but Special Counsel Jack Smith yesterday announcing former President Donald Trump has been indicted on charges stemming from the investigation into the Capitol riot on January 6th and also the 2020 election.
As we know, Trump has now been indicted on 4 federal charges, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S., conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. With us now, political panel, George Papadopoulos, a former Trump 2016 foreign policy advisor. Bruce LeVell is a longtime advisor for the former president as well. Welcome to you both. Let's start with the statement from the Trump campaign. As you can imagine, they were weighing in right after 5 p.m. once this became public, in part writing, "This is nothing more than the latest corrupt chapter in the continued pathetic attempt by the Biden crime family and their weaponized Department of Justice to interfere with the 2024 presidential election, in which President Trump is the undisputed frontrunner and leading by substantial margins." As we know, George, this is now the 3rd round of indictments the former president is facing. How do you think these repeated legal challenges are impacting him and maybe his personal demeanor when it comes to his presidential ambitions?
Well, the former president is clearly facing unprecedented lawfare as the presumptive GOP nominee and principal rival to the president of the United States during an election season. And if your name is Donald Trump, what should have been treated as ordinary political disputes have now been thrust into the domain of criminal law for the first time in history. So what I think the campaign and the president himself should be doing is basically showcasing how corrupt the system is against him, how every single time some bad news comes out about the Biden family, the next day or 48 hours later, the DOJ responds in order to handcuff the campaign's extraordinary messaging, their prosperity agenda, their forward-looking agenda that will elevate all of Americans. And this is something that the DOJ does not want to happen. They want to handcuff him. The American people see right through this. And I think the president has to stay on message here while he is fighting these cases simultaneously.
And go to Bruce LeVell. I want to on this one here in terms of how this will play out. This Jan 6 case here, these 4 charges. This will be seen by Judge Tanya Chutkan. She's known to be a tough punisher of the January 6 Capitol rioters, where in some cases the DOJ would recommend charges. She would hand down charges or sentencing rather that were higher than what was recommended. This according to the Associated Press. What does a trial look like in D.C., Bruce, for former President Trump?
Thanks for having me. Good morning. Well, you know, she's one of the new squad members. I just tweeted her, Letitia, Alvin Bragg, and all the rest. You know, and she was appointed by Obama. And yes, you're right, Sean. She really overreached on these sentencing on these folks that jumped across the fence and stormed the Capitol. But listen, here's something that's very interesting with this. The problem is that you saw when Tucker Carlson released the man with the horns, I think his name was Jason, and a week later they released him out of the prison. But watch this real quick. There are more damning information out there that shows video coverage of the entirety of what happened that day. I don't know if she was privileged to see this or know anything. I know the prosecution propped up what they wanted they wanted the American people to see, obviously, because they hired that CNN director to orchestrate this whole facade. I think this is all going to come to, I think, you know, Sean, I really think the American people are starting to wake up. I pray and I hope that there's more of these video footages that are going to come out. I heard there's many more, because I knew a lot of people that are out there videoing a lot of this stuff that was going to prove that it wasn't the president and the MAGA, hey, let's organize and jump this. You know, listen, there was 12, 13 different law enforcement agencies went through a fine-tooth comb, going through every nook and cranny, every cell phone, everything, and they did not find the leader of storming the Capitol. And they know that's true. So they're going to try once again, throw something up against the wall again. Here we go again. And real quick, I want to make this point. The reason why you're seeing every time we find something about Biden, then all of a sudden they come up with something with Trump, because this is what Biden is doing. if I go down, Maxine, Schumer, all of y'all are going with me. Listen, guys, this is 40, 50 years of pay to play. Biden is one of many who are in cahoots with this. So he's like, look, I ain't going out by myself. Y'all better protect me. So this is what you're dealing with. This is a gang. And real quick, this is both sides. This isn't just the Democrats. We got some Republicans over. Yes, we do, that are hoping and praying, oh, let's get him out of here. And they're skinning and grinning and talking in his face and backstabbing him. And we know who y'all are. So this is going to be the reformation, this election right here of this country right here, Sean and Emma.
A lot of people have weighed in with their different takes on what this indictment means. And again, he hasn't been charged with incitement. So that was sort of a distinction there.
Yeah, no relation to the violence, right? Or
correct. Although, of course, Special Counsel Jack Smith had, of course, mentioned the events at the Capitol on January 6th yesterday during his speech. Finally, George, we'll just go to you. Your thoughts on what we might see from a legal defense. We've heard Trump attorneys appear on cable networks citing the First Amendment, also advice from attorneys that maybe the president had taken to heart. How strong is this defense that we've seen so far?
Well, certainly Trump's legal defense has to expound on the fact that the DOJ has departed from 250 years of precedent and normalcy in American jurisprudence by actually indicting a former or sitting president of the United States of America under baseless First Amendment protected charges that most legal analysts are actually quite shocked that the special counsel would even bring, considering that he actually did not charge an incitement or an insurrection case against the former president. So the Trump legal team, I think, is in a good position. They're going to be negotiating from a position of strength in this unprecedented moment in American history. And certainly, while most Americans care about the economy and foreign policy, we will unfortunately be dealing with these events moving forward.
All right, we'll leave it right there. George Papadopoulos, Bruce LeVell offering their independent analysis of the latest Trump indictment.